Hello.
Hey, how are you guys?
Hi.
Hi, guys. Oh, you guys look so
How's
cute. Welcome to the Uncut. How are you?
We're doing great.
Good. How are you?
Very good. How's Dubai? That's like my second home. My husband's from Abu Dhabi. So
Oh,
how's it
really?
going? Yeah, I lived there 7 years before I moved to Germany. How's it going over there? Having fun?
Yes,
Yes.
it's very fun actually.
Yeah, the weather is good now, I think. In Jan, Feb, it's kind of like chill.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and like the buildings are really nice too.
Amazing.
hot.
And Lydia, you've changed your hair. It's gone dark. I love the dark look.
yes. For the show, I had it lighter.
Yeah.
like, it's been almost 2 years, so.
Amazing. So just to tell you who we are. So I'm Ramona. I do a lot of businesses. So I create businesses. I own clubs and bars in Germany, across Europe. I have a tech company in the UAE. And I've started TV work, reality TV work, and a lot more on talking, podcasts, and getting to know famous people and reality TV stars to see who they really are and show the public kind of what they do right now, what they've been doing, and how the experience was. Faye over here, she is from season 1 of The Traitors. Go mad on that show. Well, thank you for coming on. We have a couple of questions for both of you. Either one could jump in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's okay. To be honest, I was surprised that we're doing this while you're in Dubai, because UAE has the worst connection for Zoom or Skype. Like I literally was dreading days where I couldn't speak to my family while I was living there because I could never see them. I had to always call them. But yeah, so you guys were the only couple that got married on season 5, Love is Blind. Tell us a little bit about how you felt about that.
I don't know. I guess we weren't really, at least me, I wasn't really focused on if anybody else was going to get married or not. I know throughout my experience, my time on the show, I've gotten close to some of the guys, especially as we got closer to the altar. Me and Izzy got to build a real friendship. Getting closer to the altar, we were, 2 guys in a very similar situation, trying to figure out, what to do and what not to do. And at the end of the day, I think we all kind of just took a leap of faith and trusted our gut and what our heart told us.
Yeah. Good. And then you and Izzy are still talking? You're friends, buddies, still?
Me and Izzy are still buddies. We still see each other fairly regularly.
Yeah, out of anybody, yeah.
Very cool. And Lydia, you, my beautiful lady, are from Puerto Rico. So tell us. I love the way you said that when you were on that show. Tell me how you got, were you born in America? Tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a United States territory, so basically I'm a U.S. citizen. However, I was born and raised in the island, so it's really different, in terms of cultures. And growing up, you have that division basically. When I moved to the mainland, which is the States per se, I moved in 2017. So it was really different. Puerto Rico only have one season in summer all year long, and I have experienced my first winter. I've experienced snow, and it was really different. People in Puerto Rico were really warm, and we party, we're passionate, we're loud, and in the United States, more mellow. I think it's a little so yeah, it's definitely a difference around there. And then I moved to Houston, Texas in 2020. And the show, we did it in 2022, early 2022.
Yeah, Faye, that was one of your questions, wasn't it? When and where?
Yes, absolutely. But for me, the show, I found it so fascinating because you're both good-looking people. Both of you are gorgeous. And when you go on programs like that, you often wonder, don't you, gosh, these guys must be, every time you go out, you must be pestered, by people wanting to go out with you. Yet you've gone on a program like Love is Blind to meet your perfect match. And I just thought to myself, what a fascinating program. It really was fascinating to be talking to someone on the other side of a wall the whole time. How long was that? Because I couldn't get the concept. How long were you talking?
We were there for hours, and it was 10 days. But
10 days, my goodness.
Yes, we were starting like filming from like 10 in the like 8 in the morning, and then we were like end up the next morning because we had the option of night dating, and obviously you wanted to do that because that was like the best opportunity to find your person. Like you will get every minute of the day that you need to fall in love, basically, to find your person, and you just decide to have that determination and responsibility to actually, let's just push it through. Sleeping for later. Let's just go take.
I think that part of the experience is so hard to really like narrate or illustrate to somebody that like, wasn't experienced. Because I would challenge anybody that's single. If you want to meet a spouse, I challenge you to leave your phone. Like, get off of your phone for 1 week. Like, do not bring, just your phone.
Yeah.
Don't bring your phone anywhere you go when you're meeting other people for 1 week. No, hell, 3 days.
Yeah.
And you will see how different, your experience is. I think for me especially, I mean, at the time, and I still do, have a very demanding job. My work schedule was intense. They highlighted a little bit of it on the show. But even, here, as we're here in Dubai, like I'm still taking care of some things. And for me, just to be able to unplug and fully dedicate my time to one other person. I mean, I feel like in the real world, that's just not something you get constantly as an adult.
Yeah, like you may go on 1 or 2 dates and like go to a restaurant, or that's when you like start dates and stuff like that, but you don't necessarily are in a room with no distractions at all, just talking and conversing.
I think I so agree with you guys. I mean, there's so much distraction in today's era. Like, I mean, you can't even freaking go and relax at home. You're going to pick up your phone and go on Feed and go on all these different social medias and then care what people like or don't like or comment. And then you have all these apps like Tinder. Tinder came out after me because me and my husband have been together 11 years. So all the stuff that has come... all the stuff that's come in between, Bumble, Tinder, I'm like, holy shit, doesn't it become more complicated? And everyone's like, no, it's easy. Now that people are
superficial as well. Like it comes a little bit superficial as well. Like you're judging basically on a picture that you've seen on social, or like in the internet basically, and you're judging based off there if you're gonna give them a chance or not, or maybe like a conversation, but like through a phone. Like it's just like, it's really like, it's superficial. Like the show gave us the experience to like really get deep in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, me and Faye had the experience of, we both were in a really quite big reality show, and we weren't allowed to have access to the outside world for like, I wasn't allowed for like 40 days nearly, because I traveled from Germany to the UK for this reality show, and it was really, really hard. I've never been away from my husband for literally the 11 years we're together. We work together, live together, we run all our businesses together. So the fact I was like with no one around, it's tough. And the fact that you guys had that, it was tough, but it was good for you because it helped you find love. It helped you focus on that narrative of finding the right person without distraction, which I love. I have quoted something which I found was so cute, is when you both first met and you walked into the pod. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if that's the first time you spoke, but as far as we know and what we see on Netflix, this is the first time Lydia and Milton walk into the room. So Faye's gonna be Lydia and I'm gonna be Milton. Go on, Faye.
So howdy.
Hey, what's going on?
Who's this lovely guy I'm talking to?
This is Milton. Who's this?
My name is Lydia and I'm from Puerto Rico.
So what do you do?
I'm a geologist.
Oh my God. I'm really big into metamorphic rock, metamorphic faces. Oh my God.
You are? Why?
I'm an engineer in the middle of geology and engineering. I have a polarizing microscope in my apartment.
Oh my God, you're such a nerd, Milton.
Cut! Sorry, we can't do as good as you two.
Man, secondhand embarrassment is tough.
Yes, that was actually the first time that we met.
I mean, Did I say exactly those words?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly those words.
I
You
must
can
have-
actually see it on
I
Netflix.
must admit, I haven't finished my season yet,
No, he didn't see the first 5 episodes.
but I also haven't seen like.
Any of the seasons
Yeah.
prior.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't think any of us watch ourselves back on TV. I think it's just a bit like, oh,
And
Bad. It's like you
I've
see
been
yourself and like
tagged to
criticize
so many
yourself.
things on Instagram and Twitter that I'm
Yeah.
like, even when I'm watching this show, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I experienced, I lived it, I filmed it, but like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I still get what's going on and how things are put together.
yeah.
Yes.
And to be honest, you two are total nerds, and I love that because again, I'm relating it to my personal life. My husband is the most freaking nerdest person I've ever met. I think he got to marry me because of that. Because he's so smart. He's like the Albert Einstein I've never met before. And when I met Milton on the show and I was listening to him, I was like, oh my God, he sounds like my husband. And you two, personality-wise, perfect. Because I'm loud and crazy and emotional, Lydia, like you. And he's very like reserved, watches everything, calculates everything, makes sure everything is right before we step into anything. So I do love the way you guys met, and straight away from the get-go, you guys both were absolutely the ideal couple. Milton, you knew Lydia was the one. This is what I or Faye believe from what we've seen. Is that how you felt from the second you started opening up to her and becoming emotional?
I mean, yeah. So when I don't know, I felt like by the time I met Lydia in the pods, I had already went through a few different other women. Like it's almost like speed dating. You go through a few different people, and Lydia was like the first one I instantly connected with. Yeah, and so from there on, I was like, okay, she's top of my list. I don't know. I guess I never met a geologist before.
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy in the pods that was also a geologist.
Yeah.
But so I guess Lydia was technically the second geologist I've ever met. Had a lot of similarities. And then, a big part of my life was, school and work. Well, I was already graduated by then. But a big part of my life was work and how demanding my career could be. Like sometimes, like for example, my job, might say, hey, we need you to go to, I don't know, Amsterdam or Rotterdam for 2 weeks to, work on a project. She works in my industry and she understands what it takes, the level of commitment. And I think it's really hard for people outside of maybe our industry, outside of Texas or outside of whatever bubble that we're in to really understand that. And she got it right away.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when you said that you're a geologist and an engineer, and because my husband's an engineer and you're a geologist, I just thought you guys have tough jobs, and to understand this type of industry, you got to be in it, right? And the fact that you both are, I think it is a bonus, but it's also tough on hours and seeing each other. How does that work out? Because I know you've skipped years and you've gone, you bypassed some of your school members and teammates, but you've also wanted to do your PhD when you were filming. Did you start doing that already? Actually,
no. So when I was in the pods, I had already been accepted into a PhD program in energy engineering. It's like multifaceted, like, so it's a little bit of petroleum, a little bit of hydroelectric, like it's more sustainable focused.
Yeah.
But that's really, as we're making this energy transition where I really wanted to be. And Lydia's kind of already on that side. We're still getting there.
And Lydia, you wanted to be an environmental specialist. Did you get into that pathway?
So not really. I'm still like in the consultant environmental world. I am with a different company than when I was at the show though. And I have like more experiences in terms of like the industry per se and like different opportunities than I didn't have in my previous company. So we're exploring and we're figuring out. I think
it's still kind of
it's still like project managing. It's still an environment. I like to say like doctors of the earth, remediating the earth. Someone this mess.
It's on the side of that doesn't make money.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm more of a production guy, so you
That's
need energy,
it.
I will
I'm
provide
just-
it by any means necessary within legal ramifications and regulatory bodies. You know, we have a great compliance record. Just want to say that.
Yeah.
Get some cold. Be like, I'm like, there's a spill there, wasn't it? He's like, I'm not gonna tell you.
Don't
No,
know.
we
I've
don't.
never had a spill. Yeah, but I ended up actually deciding not to go ahead with my cohort and do my PhD. I think like going straight from, you know, the show to cameras are off and just being married with my wife and then acclimating back into like normal society, like going back to work every day. And I think we stopped filming in May. I was going to have to start grad school because I had already pushed it back a semester. Like
3 months in.
In like 3 weeks after getting married.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it just like, the timing just didn't make sense. I was still trying to like get back to my normal life. Like I had not worked filming the show for quite some time. And then just acclimating to like meet my wife. Like I didn't want to go into our new relationship with a potential hurdle at the very beginning. So I said, okay. And I kind of decided like, I didn't really want to do that anymore. I still care about the sustainability aspect, but I have so many different skill sets outside of engineering. And I was at a level in my career that my upper management and my directors knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually decided to work on a second master's degree. So I have a master's in systems engineering, and now I'm working towards my MBA, which is a master's of business administration. So, I mean, yeah, like, you know, 2 masters versus a PhD, but the avenues that it gives you in our industry is so different. So in the US, at least, if you go to like a top 15 school, so like a really good program, if you can get into one, if you couple that with an engineering degree, I mean, you can kind of just look at an industry trend if you want to be, I'm not saying it's required, but if you look at your directors and your vice president, your president of these large oil and gas corporations, typically you're going to see an engineering degree coupled with a top 15 master's program. And that's what I'm currently working towards.
Like you both are very intelligent and you both basically, you know, what I personally always say is you have to experience it to know it. And my husband, like you, Milton, did all his masters and PhD, and he came up with a solution, an idea to reduce food waste at source and turn that into pelletization and home energy, and as well as give back to agriculture like the UAE, which is what we started with, and turn the desert into organic green garden where they can have organic fruits and vegetables because they lack that, right? And this is how our tech company became very sustainable. We sold a lot of machines to the Coca-Cola arena in Dubai has our sustainability machines and our food waste programs installed into it. So has most of the chicken waste farms and in the landfills. So you two should definitely look into opening a company together, because trust me, the industry and the knowledge that you already have from your studies, if you implemented that into your own way as an entrepreneur, you both could make millions. And it's scary at first, but you know, nothing ever comes easy if it's not scary, right? And this is what we realized, that actually, holy shit, we're 2 smart people, let's do it. And I think you both should really look into something like that while you guys are doing what you're doing, because, you know, studying other topics and adding to your degree is all well and good, but action it for fun. Open a small company. And you're in Dubai right now. There's huge opportunity over there, especially in Saudi Arabia. I mean, you guys could run the world with your mindsets. Yeah.
That's definitely something that we have been discussing, looking into. And I think what you said is really good, because that's part of the reason I'm working on the MBA. There's an aspect to industry that I never fully understood until more recently, and that's the financial aspect. You know, I can engineer the hell out of something and provide a solution, but if it's not profitable, if I can't if I can't, earn that penny, then it's no
Right.
good.
Yeah.
And now being an engineer, being able to think of something very technically, and then also look at it from a financial accounting standpoint as well. I mean, that's like a cheat code to the world.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna just bring you two to Germany and throw you into my husband's tech. Yeah.
Not opposed.
Not opposed.
Yeah, join the tech company, and you Abu Dhabi and in Germany. I think you guys all together would be like a bomb going off.
What I'm still fascinated about is the pods and things, because I'm one of those people I'm very curious. How long did the whole process take from the time that you were in the pod to you then went off to Cancun in Mexico? After Mexico, you went back to the apartments, and then after the apartments, you then got married. I mean, for me, watching those 12 episodes with the reunion,
8 weeks, like around 8 weeks.
8 weeks. What, from the
Wow.
time you met in the pod to the time that you got married?
Yes.
The whole period was 8 weeks, was it? Wow, that's amazing. 8 weeks, and you fell in love in 8 weeks.
Faster than that, right?
Yeah, but I suppose those 8 weeks were magnified by being together 24/7.
Like if you put it in time and perspective, it's probably at least 2 years. If you the that you're dedicating there, and like at first, like those first 10 days are like intense. Like you're literally just talking to the other person, because like you start to like just obviously getting like a fewer selected people that you really want to talk and converse and meet, and then you're like, hey, I'm gonna dedicate. You're literally like from the 8 to the next day, like you're talking to that person. You're talking.
Yeah, there were days. There were definitely 8 hours straight days of just Lydia and I talking 8 hours straight, and then you don't even realize it's been 8 hours until
they're like
the person
5 minutes
behind,
left.
Yeah, they're like, hey man, 5 minutes left. You gotta wrap this up.
And what's this night pod you meant? The night talk. You got to talk all night as well, if you want to.
Yes.
Wow.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
The show,
So they were
everything.
really, at least for us, they were really considerate about like understanding, like, hey, like we understand, like he might be kind of working, exhausted, filming like 10 hours a day. We have it open if you would like to also continue to film. You guys can film at night, or you guys, feel free to go to bed, do whatever you guys want. Here's dinner, go to bed. But if you and the person you're talking to on their side still want to talk a little bit longer, how about in 2 hours, we set something up for you guys in the pods and you guys do it. And, some days we did, some days we're like, dude, we're exhausted.
Some days someone over here falls asleep, and you're like, you know what? Let's go to bed.
Yeah. Or if you're in the, I think night dating's only like a few hours, but if you're in it for after like 30 minutes, you're like, look, I'm exhausted. Let's just go to I think night dating's the best.
Yeah, I think it's like, because like it's more casual. It's more like there's no like, because they usually give us like guidelines per day. At night dating, you don't. You're like, okay, let's really talk. Let's get vulnerable. And like if you saw like,
by that time, you're already over everything. You've already eaten dinner. You're full. You're in your pajamas.
You're just chilling. Like,
actually, except for, I don't know. I have seen some things I was tagged to on Instagram, and I was like, wow, you can just tell I just packed so last minute. I just threw everything in a suitcase, and I was just like, because I wear suits every day. So I was like, oh, they want, I want to be my real self. And at the time, I just didn't love wearing suits every day. I felt like I wore them every day to work, and I just, okay, what's everything I have that's not a suit? And I threw it all in a suitcase the day of, obviously.
Yeah.
So
everything.
The day of, and I said, I'll figure out outfits when I get there. And then seeing some of the things I was tagged to, I was like, wow, that wasn't it.
It was just the day that something important happened, and you was just, it made it.
Yeah.
I think Lydia tried to match a lot while you guys were, I think, in Mexico, where you were so, like, I'm wearing these gray shorts with my pink shirt, man.
Oh, but I want to show you something. I want to tell you something.
Show me.
This morning, we're getting ready, right? And he sees me, and he's like, baby, but I'm wearing my blue suit. You should change and wear something blue.
No, that's just, I like to wear my black suit. It's my least good fitting suit.
But see, he's trying to match like every time. It's a match.
No,
Yes.
not accurate. Not accurate.
Yes.
I believe Lydia.
Yesterday we were in the same color pattern. Don't
She
lie.
tries to match me.
No, I'm always the one that gets.
I'm standing on my ground.
Mm,
I'm a double tap. No
So how long have you
matching.
guys been? How long have you been married now? 2 years?
yes, 2 years.
A little
for
bit less than 2 years. Like what? 20
20 months.
1 months.
21 months. Yeah,
21 months.
How's marriage?
It's great. I mean, like
It's
all
chill.
relationship is like, yes, you have your hardships and hurdles that you go through. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, I
Yeah.
feel like people like tend to like romanticize and because of how we live and like how movies are and like this picture perfect moment. Like life isn't perfect, but we
Yeah.
have, and I think like you can see that in like in the show. Like we know how to overcome challenges. Like we do that really greatly.
Yeah.
That's it. That's just life. Like how to resolve conflicts. And
I think for me
Yeah.
too, one thing that really helps, at least on my end, I've been blessed with the 2-parent household with both my mother and father, have stayed together and been together for 30 plus years. Like it almost like going through college. Like I've seen my sisters and my mom and my dad do it. So like that blueprint, that foundation is there. I know
Yeah.
it's possible. So even when it is tough or things are challenging, I always have people to rely on, and we have friends that are married, and it's just really chill, and it's a really nice support system. We always, at least I always say, I feel like marriage is a commitment to your significant other, but it's also a commitment to your friends, to your family, and to your community. So, and all of those different groups and all those different people are there to like help hurdle you and cultivate you as one union. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
But I still want to smack the shit out of my husband sometimes. It is marriage.
Totally
I
normal.
mean-
like sometimes I just be like, your son is driving me nuts. But yeah,
I heard Lydia has a new bestie, your mom, Rita, I believe,
Yeah, she told me
Jessica and Langdon. What's his name? Her husband, Lanston. So you're getting very close. So I think she's taking your place a little bit.
Yeah. If my mom calls me and I don't answer, my mom texted me yesterday. Shit.
Oh yeah.
Damn it, I did text her back.
Yeah.
It's the time zones. It was like 2 a.m. I'll text her back.
I think Lydia probably has already.
Oh no, my
Even if
dad.
it's that he will be like,
Nobody's first to my dad. My dad sold me out completely.
yeah, and then like I'll be like, Pops, he's doing this, and this, and he will be like, come on, James.
Lydia would be in the car with me and my father, and she'll be like, I'm getting hungry, and I'm like, we just bought groceries, like $600 worth. Like, we'll be in the house in 15 minutes. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, it feels expensive. Hungry, we got to turn around. I'm like, hold on, man. Like, it's not that serious. We can wait 15 minutes. Like, no, we got to get food now.
Now.
I'm like,
I love that.
Like currently, my car is at his parents'. And
my
Pops
dad
is like,
wants to redo. What does my dad want to do? Redo your brakes?
so yeah, something like that. He already did the brakes. Now he's doing the sensor thing. I'm like, I love it. Like I didn't really experience. I obviously growing up, like I come from like a single household. I was not privileged in that sense. And I didn't have a father figure, and everybody that was kind of that portrayed area kind of disappointed me. So having someone who actually like loves me as a daughter and like has like carried that responsibility, and he does it so well, and also his mom, like I don't have my family in Houston, I don't have my family in Texas, it's just literally me. And having that and being privileged to like, oh yeah, I got married and I have a bigger family now, like it's literally like having my mother in there, my father in there, like anything happens I can call them, they're gonna literally like a phone call away, and they'll literally drop everything to go rescue me in that sense. So it's really nice, and I feel really blessed.
I think you both coming together had a very great impact also with Milton's family. You guys definitely brought up, your Puerto Rican culture is being loud and loving and love and love as much as you can and every day, no matter what. And with Milton, I think, your family, like with Jessica, for example, your sister, even your father, James, they were very reserved on this marriage. And now hearing the fact he's fixing your brakes and he's gonna feed you first before any damn $600 shopping, and having that type of best friend, his mother, like Rita, a call away, it's beautiful, right? And I come also from a broken home. I don't have a father, and my mom raised me, and my grandmother who passed away now. I feel like I needed that too, and I needed a full-on family. And my husband, obviously Lebanese, Abu Dhabi family, huge, and it's like gives you
And
that.
I'm always something, Maria. I'm always saying something. I feel like not growing up with the princess of a father figure does, like, if anything, influence, because my mom, she's a badass, right? Like, she
Yeah,
raised 5 children by herself, and she's
absolutely.
my heroine forever and ever, right? And I'm gonna always have that respect for her. However, she will focus on making me a strong woman. She focused me on,
Absolutely.
like, I need anything from anybody. You're gonna be raised to be a strong woman, and that's what she
Same.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, having that father figure, I don't think you lack the understanding of how to be loved right. And like, even thinking about it, it gets me like a little bit emotional, because it's true. Like, you don't have that
True.
person, and it's that male figure that is gonna love you right, and gonna be
Yeah.
like, this is right, this is not. This is how you're supposed to be treated. This is not how you're supposed to be treated. And that is kind of like really one of the biggest important roles that the father has, knowing your daughter and showing her how to be loved. And I
Yeah.
literally really lack that. And you can see it on the show for a few, like, my past dating experiences. Like, I was not choosing myself. I was choosing poorly because I didn't know better. And I
I
didn't want to
agree.
be 1000%.
So true. I mean, I absolutely agree. Think about it. What the hell did my father direct me into, and what was good or bad? Nothing. I mean, I've been without him since I was 8. So to be honest, I have made some shitty decision in men, to be honest, before my marriage, and it probably is because I didn't have the right male guidance, and my brother was too busy, being my older brother who's 18 and going out and doing whatever the hell he's doing. So I absolutely agree with you, Lydia. I mean, we come from this is maybe why being so strong as a very strong independent woman, a lot of people don't like me for that, but they don't understand why I had to be like this. And it's who I am, and that's who you are. And don't ever let anybody tell you to be any different, because this is what we were built for. Our mothers built us like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's like how I say it on the show. Like, people say I'm too much, but I think I'm the right amount of me.
You're the right amount. I actually wrote that down. Why has been too much impacted you? And actually, do you know what? Now I understand why you said that on the show. And you're not too much. You should be more. Okay, more.
If you want,
More?
yeah, more, baby.
Yeah, Milton, more.
If I am too much, go find less, right? That's what the saying goes.
Yeah.
Yes. It goes with that narrative of, like, not even like, not just only like dating partners, also friends. Like, seeing, like, I told you a little bit, like that, the kind of culture shock when I moved to the States, and having friends, and you're like, wait a minute, like, wait, I cannot tell you about my problems. Like, wait, what? We cannot get deep. Like, then what are you for? So, like, getting that sense of, like, okay, I see how this goes. Like, and yeah, like, I discovered, and honestly, like, when I did the show, when I was like, I felt ready. I felt like I understand it now. I know that I'm not gonna be liked by everyone. That there's people that are gonna love me, and like, there's people that are gonna dislike me because they're not used to this.
Yeah.
Once you learn that, you learn to love yourself for who you are, then you should be ready. One of the common questions that I always get asked by my fans, or like people that follow me, I don't like that word fans, by my followers or stuff like that, is like, what is your, like, the best relationship advice that you can be? I'm like, love yourself first, date yourself first, learn yourself first before diving into something that you want, because
absolutely.
I was not loving myself, and that was a clear image by my past.
Yeah. I mean, at the point where you said, I just want to be loved, I cried because I'm like, I think I was at one place at
Pride
one
myself
time.
watching it back, like watching it back, because I remember feeling that. I remember
Yeah.
feeling that, like emptiness in terms of like, what am I doing wrong? Or like, and I really didn't know at the time. My pictures was
Yeah.
broken. It was terrible. And I didn't see it. I didn't, it's really hard, like looking back in and be like, oh,
Mhm.
let me do it from the outside perspective when you're so passionate or so emotional or so emotion driven. And looking it back, I was like, I remember feeling all that.
I think she is one of those type of people. She's very like emotionally driven, which
Yeah.
is very opposite.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason we get along really well. But I think when you're as passionate as Lydia, and like this is the hardest thing. If you ask me the hardest thing about being married, it's like Lydia is so emotionally driven and so passionate that it really upsets me when I see people trying to take advantage of that. Because for what Lydia has when it comes to that passion, I just naturally don't have that. I wasn't raised that way. I was raised a little bit more reserved with my emotions. And I think my parents did that for a reason. Growing up overseas, we're with various different types of people. That's just what we did to survive, as a unit. As for my family, it's just me and my two sisters and my parents. Obviously now we're married and we have like, I have nieces and like brothers-in-laws.
Yeah.
But that's, and we're African American family living in Asia, traveling the world together. So we learned how to be reserved, and that's for us. For me, I've always liked women like Lydia that are like more open and expressive with their emotions. But what I don't like is when I see people try to take advantage of it. And like, we've seen it in our like 2 years of marriage. Like we've had like Lydia's had friends, and I'm like, absolutely not. And she's like, what do you mean? I don't see it. And I'm like, how do you not see that?
Yeah.
They are taking advantage of your kindness. Versus me, I'm like super reserved when it comes to friendship. Like I will only have 4 guys, and I don't care if it's just one guy, but we like it's absolute loyalty. Like I always feel like if I have to question a relationship, a friendship, whatever, then it's not for me. If I have to leave and think twice or even hesitate, you're out of my life. But Lydia's more like, well, I don't know, maybe I didn't like say this correctly, or maybe I should think about this.
As being like I'm always being a perfectionist, and I've always said this: there's nobody that's gonna judge me harder than I judge myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I tend to do. Like I tend to like the first thing there's a conflict or something, like, oh, what did I do wrong? And you can even see it in the show, like, okay, what did I do wrong? And because it's easier in that sense of like to be in control and being able to like actually be like, oh wait, if this is wrong and if something that I did, I can fix it, I can modify it. Like in that sense, like when not having someone that actually was loving me for me, like in not having a response, is like, well, I cannot fix it, I cannot change it, I cannot get the real results. And then with him, like we have even gotten into arguments because he'd be like, that person doesn't want the best for you, like that person is not right for you, like cut it out. And I'm like, but let's give it a chance. Like,
I think
it's just
maybe we provide a little bit more backstory. I think one aspect of our season which is difficult that people don't get to see, it is more difficult. You are the only
ones.
I think the most difficult part about maybe our season is, it is really tough being the only couple that got married, because once filming stops and they're in the editing process, you do build some real relationships with some of your other cast members. You build genuine friendships, and then it sours because for some people it just, when you're the only couple, it feels isolated. You don't have any other couple.
Kind of like support system in case, like in that sense, like it will be like, okay, I have to reach out to other seasons to get that, but it is not even like that, because my experience, like no one had their ex when they were dating on the show.
Well, I'm not
even like the experiences.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm saying, like, for example, whatever, I don't know, Brett's going through something as a guy, and he just like needs some advice. He wants to talk about someone that's went through something experience. He leans on Zach, or vice versa. I'm just using them as for me, it's I built a friendship with Izzy, but it's different because he doesn't understand the marital aspect of it.
Correct.
Yeah, like you usually see like married couples hanging together.
So I think what's different is some of the other cast members, when they see you two out or they see things going on, there starts to build like animosity.
Yeah.
It starts like, well, what makes you guys so lucky? Because everyone, I think, for the most part, I believe most people wanted the same experience. I mean, I would like to believe they at least wanted to end up in marriage.
Yes.
And when they don't, and then they see you're the only married couple, well, then things get said. Then it talks about, production and this and that. Well, it's not fair that they did this and they get that. I'm going to use a quote, what makes you so fucking lucky? And then
kind of said that before.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, like I'm just extremely blessed. Like, I don't know, it's God, but it was in the cards for me. Well, not having that other couple, it kind of sucked, especially when you're going through like the process and nobody knows you're married except for these people.
Yeah.
For the secret marriage is like you don't have anybody to rely to. Like you just have the foundation of yourself, and like not having that person. Like sometimes you look back in other previous seasons and like they have gone to trips together and I've done this while they were in a secret marriage, and you have that freedom in certain sense to be in that nucleus, in that small group of like, okay, how I got married. You don't know like the fake version. Like we will get asked obviously how he got married. We met at a bar.
Like, we
met at a bar. How
long
have you been dating? A year? And it's just like,
we're not going to say 8 weeks and we got married,
Yeah, like it will form more questions. So that process process, that year and a half before the show aired was really tough.
I think I understand what Milton means about when he said, and even you, to be honest, I'm going to be very honest. Since I've met my partner until now, it's been more than 11 years, I don't have friends. I don't keep friends because these friends are not friends, they're associates. Only recently, I can hand count Faye, my sister, my husband, my brother-in-law, and that's who I stick with, because people don't love me who I am today or my marriage. They hate on my marriage because like, how the fuck have you two been living together, working together for this amount of time, and how come you're successful and I'm not, and we're not, and this and that? And I feel the hate all the time, every day in my daily life. It doesn't matter if I'm in the UK, in really, Europe, in Germany. It doesn't matter. And that's how I understand Milton, because I'm 35 now. I understand it. People were using my kindness like crazy because I was so giving. I was like, oh, let me just help there. Let me just do this. My husband turns around. He's like, you do know they are completely fucking idiots and they are using you. And it never kind of got to me because my mother just told me to be kind and to be giving.
Sounds like him.
And slowly I understood. Really understood, and I let go everybody at the age of 22. I think I changed my number. I moved to the UAE. I started my first tech business. I made millions. I became who I am today because I let go all the rubbish around me. And yes, it makes me sad that I can't call my girlie at the age of 35 and say, hey, we're trying to have a baby, or I'm going through this. I think I ring Faye and I fill up her ear with stuff that I do now. But it is nice to have a close circle and sometimes to have more females in my life. But sometimes it is what it is. You are the only couple coming out of that show. You both are very smart people. You both are going to be very, very successful and wealthy in the future. Maybe you are already. I don't know. But you guys are going to fill up that bank account and everybody's going to run to you. And you're not going to want to be friends with anyone anymore, Lydia. That's just how it is, because you realize what's good for you and your husband and your family,
Yeah, I think exactly what you said. That's really the reason like my family is the way they are. Like, you think my parents have friends? Absolutely not. you know, they dedicated 20 years. You know, my parents retired at 38 and 39. You know, they're highly successful individuals. And unfortunately, one thing we learned at a young age was for this level of success took a great deal of sacrifice, health, mental, you know, but it provided opportunities for me and my sisters, and we're extremely grateful for it. But yeah, my dad just had his 60th birthday, and it was just us and his brother, you know, and he was the happiest he could be. And I think that's one part of maybe just, I don't know if that's just adulthood or if that's marriage.
I think like also like yeah, and like society, in the society that we in society.
It's society that we're in.
Yeah, like we have people tend to be like, okay, why them, not me? And then we tend to compare ourselves, and it builds this like animosity and this jealousy, and then you can see like, and even I remember even back when before I got married, I'm like, because I'm a fan of therapy. I advocate mental health awareness, and basically said, and you know, like my therapist was like, they're jealous, they envy what you have, they envy who you are. But I'm like, why? Like I don't have any other chance. Like this is how I was raised and how I was taught. Like the opportunities that I built myself, I have worked for, and people tend to like overlook that. And I hate when like people come to me and they're like, oh, you're so lucky. It's not luck. It's hard work.
It's work.
It's it's actually wanting something and working hard towards it.
You know a phrase that my mother always we always talk about that wasn't allowed in our house. It's like, you ever meet somebody and you're like, oh man, what are you up to? And they're like, oh man, you know, I'm just here at this job, you know, waiting for my opportunity to move up, or X, Y, and Z. My mom always taught me, you don't wait for opportunities. You make opportunities happen. Yeah. And it's the same way for me in my career. Like I just took over now as a sales manager, regional sales manager. And, you know, I'm an engineer. How did I get that opportunity? Well, I took a leap of faith.
You grabbed it.
I'm going to start an MBA and I'm going to start learning. Yeah. And like, let's see what happens. And they transitioned to me. They're like, actually, you're way better as a sales manager than you are as an engineer. Yeah. Because I don't know. Like I learned these skills. I've worked on them and they paid me. So I created opportunities for myself. And I think it's the same way, maybe even going on like Love is Blind. Like, I think maybe even like Lydia, like some of the people at first didn't maybe necessarily love me in the pods. They were like, oh, this guy's young. I set out for Lydia and I said, well, I have this opportunity with you, so I'm going to go for it every time. And I don't know, that's just my nature.
I think it was very clear. Rita is right. Let's just say that first. Your mom is right. You do get what you seek in life by doing and by what you want. If you want something, just go get it. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody says, no, you need money, you need this, you need that, but actually no, you don't. Everything I have today, I started with nothing. No one gave me nothing. So absolutely, if you're better in sales and you want to be a director, a VP, a CEO, owning a company, you go do it, because you're absolutely right. Nothing is going to be given to you. You can't say. I feel sorry for people when they tell me they're sitting in a 9-to-5 job and waiting for something better to come along, because they ain't coming. It will not come. And that's just how the universe works. You ain't getting it, and you can keep looking on social media and hating on people who got it, but you just don't understand why they got it and you haven't. And this is a big thing, and I think I could talk a lot about this. We'll do another section on this. You know, life is funny the way it works out for some people, and you both are not lucky to be together. Absolutely not. You both decided, Lydia, you decided to be vulnerable. That's what I understood from seeing you. You opened up, you made it clear you need someone, you want someone to love you. Are you able to do that for me? Milton, you decided to become more emotionally open. And you did that. And you weren't that person before the show. I believe that's what you stated. So you both gave up something that made you vulnerable in a sense. And that made you both together into like one, and it helped you understand one another throughout the show. And you didn't stop that. I think the hiccup you had was Uche. this freaking idiot, which I don't really like to talk about, but he is in the show. I think he was someone who wanted to taunt a lot of things. I hated the way he came to the is it Novel Oak River Apartments, wherever you stayed. The way in the
exactly.
party.
You know,
Yeah, like
her details. I like her.
She knows everything.
She has done
Done
her research.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, girl. The way he walked in, like thinking that anyone misses him, because we don't, clearly. But the way he tries to kind of, bring up your past, Lydia, and talk about your whatever, drove past the house, opened my drawer, shut up, we're past that. I'm in love. I just came back from Mexico. Do I care what you have to say? The thing is with this boy, he's not a man, he's a boy. And he also went after Milton, trying to have his one-on-one with him, trying to get his mind set to change towards you. It's mind-blowing because you're already past that stage. And I love when Milton says, this is all, minute. This is like nothing. This is not important. This stuff is not important right now because you're completely past it. I mean, how did you both feel with this kind of shit show running around you throughout the show?
Again, there's just the times of like hardships, like another hurdle.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we have closed that chapter in our lives.
Yeah.
We are past that, and like, yes, like the show aired a few months ago, but that was so long for us ago. Like, it's like you say, it's not important. We don't care. Like, I watched it back and I'm like, I should have just laughed and like.
Yeah, I would have just thrown my drink and left.
And I'll be like, you know what? No, wait, bye. And like, at the end of the day, it's just that.
It goes back to what I said though, when people take advantage of Lydia's being passionate.
Yeah.
They want to get a reaction, and I think when certain individuals came to me to try to elicit that same reaction, I'm very distrusting of others from the beginning. At that time, I had 0 friends in the pods because that wasn't my objective. If I went there and happened to meet friends along the way, cool, great bonus, but that is not my prerogative.
It is not the goal.
So for me, it had 0 bearing to me. I knew something was up by the way we were conversing with one another. We were never on those type of terms. So, and I wanted to be respectful and handle it in a respectful way, the way I was raised by my parents, my father, how to handle people that appropriate as men. And I'll leave it as that.
Can I just tell you the funniest, when Uche was with you and you did this, like he had the balls to come up to you, right, in the apartment. You know what you did? You dropped a theory. You were like, Milton, you said your theory is, he's X, you're Y, and I'm Z. Sorry, it's so funny. And so I just thought about this a lot because my husband talks like this, and I was like, it's so funny how you just shut him down by just saying these words, and then you were like, yeah, that's fair, after his opinion, and you walked off. I think it was the perfect close to such a situation without doing anything inappropriately. But yeah, I love that part. X, Y, Z.
When in doubt, always go back.
No, I was going to say to Lydia, because you touched on, Lydia, that you made wrong choices in your past with men. And then there was the situation with Izzy, because when you were in the pod, you felt Izzy was the one for you. But I'm so glad that broke down. I really am. Yeah. No, honestly, when I looked at the end of the series, I thought, oh my God, I'm so glad that was not the right decision, because in the end, I don't know, there was something about Izzy I wasn't sure about anyway, the way he treated Taylor as well. But I was just so pleased for you that decision didn't go through and that Milton was the one.
Yeah, like I think things happened the way they were supposed to happen.
Yeah.
In terms of like that, and like my ex, not to be named, and Izzy and all that stuff, they were like kind of like in the same spectrum of the guys I used to date.
Yeah.
And I said that in the show, like,
yeah,
it's a representation of what I used to date, because I was not picking myself, I was not choosing myself. And I was able to like.
I will stand up for my boy though. I wouldn't put necessarily him in that same category. No,
I love Izzy as a friend. Like he's so cool. Like at the end of the day, we were not a good match.
I'm gonna stand up for my boy just a little bit.
I mean, Izzy is a sweetheart. You know, he wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
He's a lovely man. It hurt my heart when you said, women laugh at his bald head. I'm like, are you shitting me? Have you seen Vin Diesel? Like The Rock? Are we like in a different world?
Is Vin Diesel the bald man that you went to out of all of them?
I don't know. It's just
there's The Rock, and you said Van Diesel.
I wasn't gonna say Jeff Bezos. Like I wouldn't go that far.
That's fair.
No. And what I'm saying about Izzy is about like the sense of like I was not his choice. I was not like type. I was not his choice. Like that's basically what I'm referring to. Not that he has the same personality as the unnamed person. It's more of like I was not his choice. And we did have like some certain moments, and I was kind of misguided. Like you don't know, you don't see the person's face, you're not seeing his reaction, like you're not seeing his body language, and like I've had vulnerable conversations. I did have vulnerable conversations. They didn't make the edit, and we cried together, and we shared like some childhood traumas that we have experienced, and like kind of like guided that. But like at the end of the day, things happened that were supposed to happen, and I was able to look at across, and I even said it, and like when Izzy cut me off, I was like, no, I'm here to find my husband. He was not the right one. I have to go back and actually look for my husband.
Yeah. And I think it's so interesting because people often ask me like, is it weird like running into some of the girls that you used to date? And like, technically, I guess I did date Stacey. Technically, like by pure definition, I suppose. But I mean, if they didn't make it to like day 8 or day 6,
wasn't dating then.
I don't know. That's me putting an arbitrary thing on
that category. I think that anybody but you, baby. Then we're good.
Yeah, because for me, it's like I love Stacey. I think she's great.
Yeah.
I shouldn't date her. Like I wouldn't consider that. I think Stacey's the one who asked me to describe myself in 3 words. I think that was probably my worst date.
And what the hell did you? Hold on. What did you say? What's the 3 things you said?
Do you want to share?
So I believe it or not, I don't know if you guys can tell on the show, but I'm actually like a really, really funny guy. Like,
no, you cannot.
Really, Milton?
No.
It's really not.
Even the guys would tell you like I'm like a huge goofball. Like
they made you look smarter than funnier, I think, on Love is Blind. They made you look like a smarter individual than a funnier individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely
but tell me,
like a serious reserved person.
Yeah.
And he's really funny.
And
like they cut out like when we're like really laughing hard and like that part.
Maybe it's just like stupid humor. I don't know. It's just like very like slapstick dumb humor. I don't know.
And then you said,
and all the guys, I've seen some of them do podcasts. Like Chris, he was like, "Yeah, Milton's still the funniest guy I've ever met." That's to my own horn though. What did I say?
Oh, Stacey.
Stacey asked me to describe myself in 3 words, and I think this was literally my first date. Like I just like you first stepped into the pods. And I don't know.
I just the last one actually.
I don't remember. Obviously, it's so long ago. I just remember like trying to be funny, and it's so hard to like get your humor across when you can't like read their
reaction.
Or, like,
yeah.
Like, if I can't see the reaction, you don't know if I continue and double down or pull back.
Yeah.
And
double down.
I don't remember the 3 words, but I remember the last one. I was looking around. I don't know. That's weird. I was like energetic, like ambitious. And then I was like, oh, like how, like I thought this was super corny. And I was like looking around and I was like, oh, what's the 3rd word? And I saw a bottle of Jameson. And I was like, oh, my first name is James. So Jameson. So I just said Jameson. And she was like, did you just describe yourself with alcohol? And I was like, I thought about it. I was like, yeah. I doubled down. I was like, yeah. She was like, are you trying to tell me something? I was like, yeah, I might have a slight problem. I was joking. And then like, I hear like later down, she was like, yeah, Stacey Stacey tells me, she's like, dude, I cut you off because you told me you were an alcoholic. I was like, oh no, I don't know. Like,
being a
So your
good
double
boy.
down joke lost Stacey.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, like it was like, and that date was like 15 minutes, and I
yeah.
walked out like, oh, I think Stacey actually said too her worst date was me. I think Stacey said on the show her worst date was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a funny date. It was
The
like
worst date.
It was horrible.
Oh my God, Stacey.
So funny throughout
Yeah.
the show.
Let's do the meet where you've actually met each other for the first time. I think Lydia, you wore red, and Milton, you didn't match. but but you look good.
Is this the
I think I'm the same one.
It is the same suit, yeah. Because you picked her up and you swirled her around, and I just remember it. And you know,
Yeah, and I ripped it too.
By the way, I'm not like too to our home, but I think that was the best reveal in history. Maybe I'm biased.
No, yeah.
No, I think that was an
I
amazing
didn't
reveal.
have my tie. Because I packed so last minute, I didn't have my tie. So I
Yeah,
put everything on. And I was like, where the fuck is my tie? They're like, we need you out there right now. And I was like, I don't have a tie. I have to take the vest off. They're like, you don't have time. We already mic'd you up.
You're telling me production didn't have a tie back there? They have like a whole wardrobe normally.
Not that day.
No.
Was the first time you'd actually met? Was it truly?
Yeah, in person.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, that
So-
is true.
Do they give you a pen portrait when you go in there so that they kind of know what type of person you're looking for or not?
No.
No.
That's
There's
like
no
basic.
pen portrait at all.
They encourage you not to ask those questions about the physical appearance
Wow.
because they want to make sure like the frame is true to itself.
Yeah, because
Because
no,
that kind of like ruined it. Like, yeah. I mean, we did make a joke, but I don't think it was in the show.
Yeah, but it was like
So when she
there's-
told me, I'll say it. When Lydia told me, when I got into the pods, one of the first things we said, I was like, I noticed you have an accent. Like, where are you from? She's like, oh, I'm from Puerto Rico. My response to that was, oh, so you look like Cardi B. And Lydia blows up on me. And she's Cardi B? And I was like, yeah. She's like, Cardi B's not Puerto Rican. She's Dominican. And I was like, oh, well, I was kind of close. Like, I was geographically correct-ish. Yeah.
Is it like
Milton, you were
That's
not
why-
correct. Cardi B? Really? Cardi B out of anyone you could have actually mentioned?
And nobody else, like, and then he gives you a hard time of Ben Bissell. Like, come on.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, that's why when I got down on one knee and like it became like a running joke, like we're just always talking about Lydia being Puerto Rican, and I was like, oh, you're gonna be my Puerto Rican wife.
And then people were like honing on about like why he calls her like, I'm like,
It's because there was like so much of an inside joke that like started from day one that like elaborated into that. Because like every day I made sure I'd like something Cardi B themed, just calling her Cardi B or something, you know? It's like at that point the joke is made, so I have to double down.
Yeah. Don't stop doubling down, Milton. Stop doubling down.
I'm a big double down guy.
it's like literally like he will score it, but he will score it like really good. Like not half up.
So you got the ring out of your coat. I remember you were struggling. Actually, my husband struggled the same way. He was trying to get it out of his coat. I saw you. It happened the same way. That was his nerves. I don't know if it was nerves.
Look how big my hands are. Look how big my hands are. Compared to his face. Like, how easy do you think this goes into a jacket pocket? Like,
I don't know. I thought you had an enlarged jacket pocket because you knew you had.
That's not how these things work. They still make it normal size. It's like.
Go to a tailor, get it a bit cut, get it ready for your hand to dip in to get the ring out. But I love, Lydia, did you love the ring? Did you get to choose the ring, Milton, or was it set up for you guys?
Yeah, I chose it. I think I went in there and I was supposed to ask Lydia some things about how she wanted her ring, and apparently she might have told me. I kind of just chose which one I thought she'd probably want it.
Yeah, he didn't really hear what I said, but he actually chose a really good one.
Are you ringing now or are you ringing?
No, I'm wearing. So
we're both wearing two different rings now.
Yeah, but it's because this one is like from
hers
my
has
mom's.
rose gold on it.
Yeah, this one is like gold. It's like my mom's marital like
Oh,
bands.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I have meaning because it was from my mom's, and then like
Lydia's is like rose, like it has like
it's
a little
rose
bit of
gold.
rose gold.
It's rose gold. It's completely rose gold.
Oh, is it?
And like
Yeah.
yes, so it's hard to match as a woman. Like we tend to have like a color pattern that goes better with the skin.
No. Let me tell you what makes it worse. So
And I want him to get in the next one.
no. So during the wedding day, Lydia puts this ring on me. I look down. I'm like, what is this?
the rose gold one. I saw it on your video. Yeah, the rose
It's
gold
really
strip.
cute.
That's
It has a
outrageous.
strip, like a silver. It has a strip. There's rose
It's
gold.
nice.
Okay.
So nice.
Look, I'm not.
Yeah, it was a nice ring.
I'm a very simple man. I wear very simple colors. Like you'll never see me in yellow. You'll never see me in red. Like I wear.
Milton, my yellow is nice.
No.
Exactly.
I just like can't do
Colors.
loud things. It's like too loud, and I just couldn't do it. So Lydia got me this on Amazon.
Let me see it. Amazon. Wait, you have to go on-
Amazon.
A titanium ring.
is that a black one or is it gray? What is that?
That's
Yeah,
a
it's
black
black.
one.
It's
a
like
black
a
one.
black one, but it has like this really like nice luster. to it.
Chrome.
Yeah,
It's like a
It
chrome.
was a couple hundred. It was nothing
It's
like
nice.
super expensive.
Oh, and my ring was too big too.
Oh, because he gave me the wrong size. He was like, I don't know, like 4 and a half.
You know why my ring was too big? Is because I literally think when we were in the pods and they were like measuring everybody's finger, we were like in a rush, and I was just like, I looked at Izzy and I was like, Izzy was like a 7 or something. I was like, yeah, give me that. I'm a 7. I just thought my hand was gonna be as thick as his.
No,
and it
You
was like,
compared.
No, his size is 10 in the ring size, so you can imagine how.
oh, it's 10.
Yeah, and then he told me that he was 10 and a fourth, and it was
Yeah.
not. It was huge.
I literally just chose the same size as somebody else, and I thought Sam was the same size as mine.
Because obviously he's not gonna do the entire thing to make sure that this is the right one.
So also
And
my
always
wedding ring
procrastinate
is
for the last
like,
minute.
falls
Yeah.
off
So
all the
you've
time.
changed your rings completely. You're wearing your mom's and you're wearing an
it's literally
Amazon.
Pretty
Like,
much.
ring, literally on maybe
I honestly don't know where it is,
I know where it is. It's not
and it matches my watch, so I love it.
Love you too, man. Oh my god. Like I made it such a big deal for my rings. Like I really did. I went to a fucking factory and I was like, I want it like this. I want it like that. And this is what I did. It was in Abu Dhabi. This is my engagement ring. Like literally designed it the way I wanted. This is my
That is
wedding ring. And I made sure I designed it the way I wanted it.
She got both. She's really.
Yeah, what do you
I
think?
feel
You're gonna marry me from the ring you like engaged me with? That doesn't work.
Yeah.
Milton, you have to
I like-
push out another ring, my friend, to Lydia.
I-
Yeah,
I-
if she hasn't got an engagement one.
Honestly, like I want to like a bigger stone.
Yeah, she needs an emerald cut. Emerald.
Like,
Maybe after I'm done paying for this $130,000 grad program,
To be honest, you are spending a shitload of money on your studies, and I really really salute you. You're very young, coming to age. You guys were talking about ages. Lydia, does his age matter today? Because clearly on the show you both were doing each other one. You're calling her old, she's calling you young, and you had
I
this
think
back and forth.
we still
it.
do that though.
yeah, we still we still joke about it. People, it's not that serious.
We
Like,
honestly forget we're not like this.
yeah, like people are like, oh, do you really like? Is it like a problem in your marriage?
No, I think it's fun.
Right. It's like we just joke about it. and-
I think now that the show's aired and we've all seen like the public's opinions and whatnot and whatever, I do find one thing super interesting about maybe it's just Western society or maybe it's just the world. I don't know. Lydia, what's our age gap?
6 years.
6 years. And what was Taylor and JP's age gap?
I don't know. I don't care.
It was like 6 years.
Oh,
6
was
years. Taylor,
Yeah, Taylor was her.
Taylor is 4 months older than me,
Wow.
and JP is 30. But like, there's only like a significance when the man
the
is
man and the
younger.
woman is
Mm.
yeah.
So like, I felt that like super interesting because I didn't really know. Like, it was like
And Izzy and Stacy too. She was older than him by 4
Right.
years.
4 years age gap too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like everybody like the males were like relatively younger than the woman, and
To be
like
honest,
Everyone-
I don't know why it's always such a big deal. I'm 5 years older than my husband. I'm 35. He's 30.
no, that's see, we are.
And
that's
when
fair
we
enough.
when we met, he was like 19 or God, maybe even 18. Like I was 5 years old. I was like in my 20s. He was like a little baby.
Or
I was like, hey, my major concern with you is that you haven't been vulnerable with me in your age. And I was like, maybe it's because of your age. And he was like, well, we hadn't like told you my age. Have I ever acted like immature with you? And I was like, wait a minute, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, I decided right there and then that the age was never going to be an issue, and it has not.
no.
Can I tell you something? Milton is the most mature contestant, candidate, member, whatever you want to call it, on Love is Blind season 5. There's no one more mature than Milton.
1000% I agree.
Thanks.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so yeah, like age is just a number, and I think you are intelligent and sustainable in your mind and how you see life. That can happen at any time, even when you're 15. It just depends what you have surrounded yourself with, and like Milton's family have surrounded him with this type of energy and commitment within his focus, and that's why he is the way he is. So love it. I mean, it is admirable. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about, you said it was a year and a half for the film to be shown after your marriage. Is that correct? So
Yeah.
how did you guys live? You know, I don't understand what would
Like
people
a
be?
regular marriage in terms of like that we will go out and stuff until the point they released the cast.
Yeah.
Once the cast was public, we were not allowed to be seen in public together.
Even
Obviously,
though you were
because-
married?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Really?
it actually it worked out
out
interestingly
good, yeah.
well for us because our industry is very demanding.
Mhm.
My company needed me to go out to LA for 4 months,
Wow.
Oh wow.
right? Like a week before the show aired,
Mhm.
my job sent me to LA for 4 months, and I didn't even come back to from LA till beginning of this year,
Right.
in January. Well, I mean,
November.
we would fly back and forth. Like I would get to visit Houston, but I had an apartment in LA that my company paid for, and it was really cool. We were actually working on a sustainability project. I was sending sustainable aviation fluid to LAX. So
Wow.
it's like really cool, like
Amazing.
something that
But like during that era, like it was like 2 months gap. Yeah, kind of like literally like we couldn't be seen each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, what I will fly obviously to see him, and I'll spend like 10 days or more in there. Like I will literally be like, for his birthday was right when like the show was airing.
Oh yeah.
And it was really hard because like obviously you want to celebrate your spouse and all that stuff. So it was literally I went to the running to like I walked to the pharmacy and got him some balloons. So when he got home, he will see the happy birthday and got him like a cake from like a pharmacy. So it's like
Oh.
it was the best that I could do to try to make it the best of the moment.
Yeah,
And when he
DoorDash.
arrives, and we DoorDash some steak because we couldn't even go out to like a drive-thru because people will recognize him.
Yeah.
So it was a hard time, but it wasn't that hard because it was not that long of a
Yeah.
period, and we were not living in the same state at the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was
You're not
because,
living.
like-
You're not living in the same state right now. Where are you living?
No,
yeah,
we
yeah,
are.
we are.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no.
No.
But when my job made me go to
Long Beach.
Long Beach for 4 months.
Like we were not in the same state.
She's like Lydia was working her job in Houston, and she
Oh.
had a Long Beach office. So when she would come visit me, she would every 2 weeks Lydia would come and visit me, or I'd fly to Houston for a week, and that's what we did for 4 months.
Wow.
Every 2
Wow.
weeks, where I'm going.
But your
And-
family knew about it. Did they all knew about it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
we-
my media family knew about it. There were friends that obviously didn't know, but like
Yeah.
family knew about it. Obviously, they were in the wedding.
It was so funny because I had some coworkers in Houston that like we had known I was going to go to Long Beach for 4 months for like easily 6 months. They
Yeah.
kind of like prepped me, letting me know like, hey, this project's about to
This
kick
is
off.
happening.
We really need you here for this, and this. Like we're gonna let you know. So and they of course gave me a really nice apartment and really nice car. And so when I left, I didn't tell a lot of my coworkers like how I got married in Houston. I was just like, oh yeah, and so they just know, like, and some of them have met my wife, like, when we had that when we had that little putting event where you met the engineering manager.
Oh yeah.
And her wife.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of them had met Lydia before on like work events, but we never really elaborated how we got married. So when I went to Long Beach, and then a week later the show's airing and they're showing like the cast members, some of my coworkers are just like, turning on Netflix, watching a show with their wife, and they're like, wait a second.
I love Milton.
They're like, what is he doing? They're like, we just sent him to LA a week ago. I thought he was already married. What's going on? And like, they blow my phone up like, dude, are you okay? Like, they don't understand like there's an editing process. They think this is like a live or something. And I'm like,
like think, oh, this is right there in the moment. For us, it was like, oh, this is so long ago. No, it's like they have like an editing process like that.
You forget.
Yeah.
And they were
this is why me and Faye are asking, because when we filmed our shows, it was well, mine came out instantly. I think Faye, you waited. I think your show came out 6 months after, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And she's like, "Yeah, it's been a while." So we do get the boom.
A year and a half, and like it's rough to keep like a secret.
Yeah,
and, like to friends, especially to friends that are like grew up with you and stuff like that. I remember like the day that I was able to like finally share on my social media him. I felt such a freedom.
When was it? From now? When did you guys share online?
October 15th.
I don't know. I'm not much of a social media user. As you can tell, by the way, it is much easier going through Lydia for everything on social media because I am horrible at checking it and I halfway read it. So again,
so funny.
But who does your
First
show?
told me, he was like, it's Tuesday. I'm like, and then yesterday I was like, when is it? Tuesday at night? He's like, no, it's tomorrow. And I was like, you didn't say that to me. He's like, I did not tell you it was Tuesday. I'm like, you did tell me it was Tuesday.
Lydia, let me tell you what Milton did. We confirmed 9 a.m. Yeah, Berlin time. And this
Berlin time. When you said that, I was in Texas. I thought like Berlin. I was like, oh, they must be the same time as
Berlin is Deutschland, Germany, and then Faye's in the UK. I'm in Germany, so I was like, fuck, Faye, we gotta get up at 4 a.m. And she was like, what?
Well, so if it makes you any better,
so sorry.
If it makes you feel any better, we have slept 90 minutes. Basically.
90 minutes?
Yeah, because this one had to do some.
I had grad school.
That's right. And
I forgot about it too.
We went to bed like what?
I did grad school to 6:30 in the morning.
Oh my god!
And then woke up at 8. So yeah, I'm telling you, like this one,
guys. Yeah, we're doing all our all-nighter then, I guess, in a way.
I debated like, and then after I was taking a shit, and I was like, should I just stay up? Should I just stay up?
Just like call it quits and just don't sleep.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys go out to Dubai yesterday? Like last night, I saw some stories, something a club.
Oh yeah, we had dinner till 3 a.m.
Yeah, so I was like, these guys are partying in Dubai. Like I like for me, when I was living there, day and night, it didn't matter to me. I was like, these guys are probably gonna do an all-nighter, which I assume you both did.
Not the way we wanted to.
Too, yeah.
Like we were at dinner and like it's like, dude, it's 2 a.m. We gotta get home. Go. And then I looked at my work email and I was like, oh shit. I was like, is today Sunday? I was like, what time is it in Houston? I was like, oh, I have an assignment. Well, I had like 5 assignments. I had 5 assignments due in like a few hours, and I was like, oh crap. And I got them all on time.
I love it. So. Love it. Lydia, just quickly, how's your mom?
Oh, my mom is great. She's doing awesome.
She lives in Puerto Rico.
She lives in Puerto Rico. We were just there. We spent the holidays with my family, so we just saw her in December. So it was actually her birthday on December 22nd too, as well. We celebrated
Aw.
her birthday, celebrated Christmas with my siblings and my niece.
How's your
and my
brother, who's younger than Milton? I had to throw it in. She said it on the show.
Oh yeah, my youngest brother Andres. He actually has a baby, and
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
he has a baby, and like he's doing great. He's doing great.
good. And is there any talk about having babies?
Not currently. Like we do
I mean,
want
we
children.
talk about it.
Yeah, eventually. However, like right now is not the time for us.
Yeah.
Like I think right now we're really career focused and like making sure that our careers are in a good place for us to like.
I think truthfully, we both realized having conversations, because we have this conversation, I feel like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, because everybody keeps.
I mean, it's not like an uncommon. Even my mom, like hint
Yeah.
at it now, which is
Like,
like
it's surprising.
kind of strange.
Yeah, like she's like, because like the last time I told her I was like 2 years, and she was like 2 years.
And I was like,
I'm gonna be older in 2 years. I'm like,
which is like
what?
weird, because like have the way I was raised, it's like I didn't even think you were like allowed to have kids till you were 30. Like, I thought it was like a rule. Like I thought God.
but
told you
yeah,
that.
like everybody, like obviously they want to see us, but like right now and he said it like a few weeks ago, like
We're like-
so selfish.
Yeah,
bro.
we're
Like, we're
just
enjoying
very.
each other. We love to travel. We love our time together.
We're trying to go to Europe, so we want to do two
Trips.
Yes,
good.
you're
national
coming to
trips.
me. You're coming
No,
to
we-
me.
Go to Germany.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Why don't you? I have a guest room. I'll show you around my clubs. Come to Germany.
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah.
sort it out.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's talking our language.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We're
we
gonna.
want to do 2 international trips a year, and then we do stupid like trips, and
Yeah.
we don't count Canada and Mexico as like international. Like
Yeah.
that's just US plus.
Well, just get like 2 weeks off, and then I'll show you Berlin, Munich, Frankfurt, Nuremberg. We'll go all out, and I'll drive us to the cities. It's like a little road trip. I'll take my husband with me. It'd be a nice little outing.
Oh, we'll do our couples.
I like that.
Yeah.
Actually like that.
Yeah,
You can
And I
really
think
And you can
I think-
record it, Ramona.
record what?
But you
The
have to
trip,
make
the
sure
road
you
trip.
contact Lydia. Make sure you
I
contact.
don't know. See, this is the thing.
You
I
and
want to
Lydia
keep
have to
it
set it
private.
up. If you leave it for me,
Then it's
oh
not
man, I'm gonna do it
happen.
the last minute. Because
Like
I'm
I wanted to plan this trip. It didn't happen.
I planned it.
What, the Dubai trip?
Yeah.
Was
So,
it last minute?
No.
The trip was not last minute. He thought it was last minute.
I think so. A good example is when we had our second wedding. So
Mhm.
after we got married on the show, like it was honestly an amazing wedding. It was beautiful. Like you guys had all seen it, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, just because it was so fast paced, because like it's filming and there's so many people involved, we wanted something just, and like a lot of your grandparents couldn't be there because they're older and it's like health constraints. You know, she'd asked me like, "Hey, can we have like a second one?" And I was like,
In Puerto Rico.
"Yeah, in Puerto Rico." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, I've never been to Puerto Rico, so sure, why not? Like,
Yeah.
we'll throw some money in it and we'll do it." Obviously,
It was more
I didn't quite
intimate,
have
yeah.
the Netflix budget, but it was still
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
intimate. It was
Like-
intimate.
It was intimate setting, and I actually felt like more like I don't want to use the word real because yes, first marriage.
It's not-
It's just
It's
more
just
like
it's more intimate.
Mm.
It's more emotionally
personal, and like it like if I was nervous, I wasn't nervous for the Netflix wedding. I was nervous in my Puerto Rico wedding because it
Yeah.
was my family.
Mm.
You had the
Childhood
entire family there.
Yeah, and everybody was there, so it was like it just felt okay. This is happening again, and
Did
it's
you
like
have a new
this is
dress?
for-
Did you get a new dress?
Forever.
Absolutely
No,
not.
it-
No. Mm-mm.
You-
Milton wore the,
Wanted
Milton
to
wore
pay
the
more money.
suit.
I had
He
Well,
actually did bought him a suit, a tuxedo for the second.
I did.
and he spent the money.
It was a good one
Yeah,
too.
good.
Except everything has to be custom. Like everything has to be tailored to my
It was the same dress, but like I did my hair different and makeup different, so it looked kind of like different. If you compare, like if you go to my social media, like
I had the same groomsmen. Oh, but I changed my best man.
Yeah, you changed the best.
So like literally
I
them
had-
all get a shot.
Yeah, I had like 2 different bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was fun because we had the wedding, and then we also made it like a trip in Puerto Rico that like all of our friends are there. So we were like hiking, we're drinking, going to dinner at casinos. Like
barely saw Puerto Rico. He only saw like 5%.
so, no, where I was starting with this is Lydia went to Puerto Rico first. I had to work a few days longer, so I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll book my flight." So we booked my flight, and I have a connecting flight from Houston, from Texas, to Orlando in Florida.
Miami, whatever.
In Orlando. So I get there, and I flew an airline that I don't typically fly. I don't know if you guys have it in Europe, and I pray to God you don't. And if you ever hear it, don't ever get on.
What is it?
It's yellow.
No, we don't have that.
It's called Spirit Airlines.
No, we don't have that. I saw a lot of bullshit about Spirit's line online from American people, but we don't have that.
You remember Alaskan Airlines the other day when their door flew off?
Yeah.
Crazy with Spirit.
And Alaska is still better than Spirit. One step though, it's still better. I would even after that, I would rather get into an Alaskan airline flight with the door off as I board than fly Spirit.
We have had experiences with Spirit.
The entire US has.
Yeah.
But
how did you fly to Dubai? Emirates or Qatar? Like which airline did you go in?
Delta.
Okay. You need to experience one of the UAE flights. They are the most beautiful flights I've ever been in.
Yeah.
From Qatar to Etihad or even Emirates, like the business first class. It's so beautiful. It's extraordinary what they've built inside. It's nice.
Yeah.
Something to experience. But anyway, your friend Sebastian, Alex, Josh, and Zachary, did they come to Puerto Rico with you?
Yes.
Okay, so you had your besties with you from the show as well.
No, Zach wasn't there. Zach couldn't make it.
Oh, okay.
Zach was doing something. But I have another friend that was at the wedding, but he wasn't a groomsman. His name's Sam. He wore a cowboy hat.
Sam. Cowboy hat.
He was one of my groomsmen this time, and it was just like, and his birthday was like that same week too, when we were in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your besties, Lydia? Do you have any besties?
Yes, I mean they're like Puerto Rican besties, so Claudia and Janice. Okay.
Nice.
In regard to the show, I only have like 2 girls that I'm really close with.
Are your friends with her friends, and his friends with your friends?
So they don't live in Houston. They live in Florida.
So Lydia's friends, Lydia's 2 best friends live in Florida, and then in Houston, you hang out with like Stacy and Steph.
Stacy and Steph, and sometimes the other, from the show. But like regular best friends, they are in another state. They live in Florida. They don't want to move to Texas.
And well, I mean, I wouldn't say Lydia's like besties with any of like my friends' girlfriends or fiancés. So my buddy Alex, he's actually him and his. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. I don't know if he's already proposed.
Well, you just said it.
Well, I don't know. He's going to, but it's not a surprise. No, it doesn't matter. It's Alex.
He's expecting a baby.
Yeah, and he's expecting a baby, and everybody knows about that. So he's looking to propose sometime soon, and like you like Georgie, you hang out with her.
But like it's more like, and I tell him like they're your friends, and my friends are my friends, and it's like sometimes I like them because I'm not like opposed to hanging out with them, but you can
it's
tell,
different.
because they're more closer to his age than mine. So it's like
Alex is 31.
Besides Alex, and Alex,
she means you guys have your hobbies, like gaming and things that she might not want to join in for.
Alex, a long time ago, before the way me and Alex met. It's like the funniest backstory. We worked at a consulting firm together. He was actually my boss, and we were on the same team. And we worked like crazy, super American hours. I know you guys in Europe could never imagine this, but we would work from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Like it was horrible. Like 5 days a week, and sometimes on Saturdays. Like just doing consulting work. It was always busy. And me and him would just work 12 hours, and then like we were younger. I was like 22, 23, 22, and we would just get blasted after work. We would just go to a bar and just drink all night, wake up on each other's couch at like 6 a.m, and then go to each other's place.
Like so
and
disappointed, like, oh,
and then, like, but we
Milton.
were, I was 22. That's what we did. So that was the one time I left oil and gas for like 8 months, and then I did that. Then the company got raided by the IRS, and I said,
Oh my God.
back to work in oil and gas. So, but yeah, that's how I met Alex. He was my boss. That we're basically just best friends.
I don't know if this is a young thing, but in my 35s, we still wake up to a Weiss beer. We drink here. Like, we Germans are kind of like, I'm half German, half Indian, half English. So it's really complicated, my background. But we like wake up to this shit. Like, I don't know. I think we're kind of immune to hangovers.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a good thing to be immune to hangovers.
I think the Germans, the Russians are.
Yeah. No.
I also guess any two groups of people, I would put my money on them.
I wanted to touch just quickly before I forget. You guys were talking about babies. The reason why I asked the question isn't because obviously maybe the question what everybody else is seeking, which is just have a baby now. But for me, from a oldie, being married for so long and stuff, me, my husband, just some advice I want to share with you both is that we always said business first. We need to build our business, our foundation. We gotta make it happen. We're gonna make 6 figures. After 6 figures, we make 7. We make 8. We kept going, and we kept saying we need to keep doing business. And then we'll open another business. And then we open clubs and bars, and it doesn't stop. And I think, in a way, I also missed my window. I'm 35 now. I also have Hashimoto, which is an autoimmune, so my thyroid doesn't work properly. So I have to take a tablet every morning. And it became very tough where now I'm like, let's have a baby. He's obviously 5 years younger. He has no issues. Besides, he drinks a lot when he goes out, but that's normal. But for me, I'm just like, you guys have to keep in mind, that what happens after when you do want it, it becomes tough, right? Because you focus so much on building this lifestyle, you've forgotten another job that you're supposed to do. And I think I'm focusing this more on Lydia because it really hit home to me when I've just recently gone through an IVF procedure, an egg retrieval procedure, which I'll talk about probably more in another episode. But it took a huge turn on my body, and I never thought it was last week. And ask Faye, I was dying for a week, and I got internal bleeding. They ended up stopping it. I thought I was going to lose my life. This is literally 6 days ago, and I just feel like any couple out there who know they love each other and they're going to be married for a long time, or whether they're not married yet, I don't know which way they want to do it, but if you are soulmates, don't miss that window because it gets so tough, and it really has a real hit on your relationship, this emotional journey, which I could have avoided if I even, because I could have had a baby at 23, at 24, at 25, at 28, 26, 29, 30, but I didn't. I was so lady boss.
Right, Mama.
Yeah, I was just lady boss, like I need to build, I need to do this, and now,
yeah. Like first, I'm so sorry, and like my feelings are with you.
Thank you.
You're going through. That's why I also like I've said like 2 years because I feel like that's like that will put me in 34 or closer to 34, and I'm like after that like it's gonna get complicated. It's gonna be uphill, and we don't want to be there. So that's why I was like giving time frame like. Which it makes sense, which is one of our reasons. Like, we don't want to wait too much, because
I just say, don't even think about having kids now, but think about freezing your eggs. I think this is the most important topic that has not been discussed with any women much. They're just famous people. Yeah, famous people talk about it or surrogate like it's sugar plums on cakes, but egg freezing, go to Prague. It's the best pricing, the top clinics, and you pay like half, like 4,000 or 5,000 euros. You can literally freeze your eggs. You can freeze. I made around 25 were solid. You can make the same and freeze them, and then you and Milton continue enjoying yourselves for whatever long till the 35, 36, and then you at least have them. Because people don't understand when it's just you and her and you. The next thing that's going to come, it has to be a baby. It has to fill your home. And when that timeline kind of goes past, it becomes difficult. Think about freezing.
I one of my coworkers had told me this actually just the other day after he had seen the show, and me and him, we have a really good relationship. I surprised I never told him that I ever went on the show. But he was telling me about him and his wife faced the same exact, very similar struggles. And he had told me that he wished he would have froze, and he ended up getting a surrogate or something like that. I don't know how these processes work.
Surrogate, someone else carrying the kid, Yeah,
and he told me like it cost him like $100,000 US.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, like they go from $30,000 upwards. And why do you need to do that when you're fit? He's fit, but actually it's just your timeline because your age gap as well. I'm older, so I didn't even think. I'm still living like I'm 21. God damn it! But my inner body isn't. So just keep that in mind, Lydia. Like think about it. Have a read about it. These things, I think, if I can change one woman's life, like who is like few years behind me and who could make big difference to a few years ahead of her when she does decide to have kids, like I feel like I did a purpose in my life, because I've just been through it. So yeah, keep it in mind. But enough of this emotional talk.
The only thing I was going to touch on was the reunion, because I thought that was quite interesting, because Ushi didn't attend that, did he, for some reason?
Yes. Thank God.
But was that okay for you guys, seeing everybody?
Like I mean, at the end of the day, like they're the people that were there, with the exception of Izzy and Stacy, we haven't seen. And like it was just like we try to focus on like what we have been through.
I think for my wife and I, we had a great experience on the show. We met one another, and the moment we got married, we closed that chapter. I think maybe some other people might have needed help making sure and solidifying that chapter was closed.
Taylor was very upset, wasn't she? Still, she was upset with JP, wasn't she?
Yeah, but I think that she handled it the best. Like, I really like Sam because she stand up for herself, and I always bring for her that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe there might have been maybe others that need help getting that chapter closed. And the reunion, I mean, I was already married. Like it was cool to see them, I suppose, but I want to see you.
I love Milton. He's like, I'm on another level, man. Good to see you guys. But no, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, it's good to see everybody, but at the end of the day, you're somewhere else, they're somewhere else. Like you guys mentioned earlier, your circle of friends has shifted from the show. It's just, people might call it luck. I think you both are blessed in your own ways, and you are very, very fortunate to have worked hard towards this relationship that you have now. And in Mexico, when you guys opened up to each other even more, and I was going to ask a cheeky question, I don't know if it's too much, but did you have sex on the first night in Mexico in the showers?
Showers?
Not in the shower.
No, that's just like
the way they filmed it. It was like
steamy, wasn't it? It was all steamy.
They saw that part. So
it was like 50. It was like 50 Shades of Grey, man.
You saw it when it first came out. You saw the first day it came out.
You saw the butt?
I saw his butt and your back of your waist, and like you both in the shower, and that was the scene.
Did you see my raw ass though?
No, your raw ass.
I can't remember that. No.
Yeah, that's
okay. Okay.
No,
so they saw that. They saw that.
It's edited.
Okay.
No. Hold on, your ass was out. Your ass was out, and it was Ed.
You saw it before. You saw it before they edited it.
Like
before I raised a little bit of a tantrum.
I'm not Latina. I'm not like.
I was like. You guys want to see me at this fucking reunion? I was like, don't forget, I'm the only motherfucker. I'll do it. I just work in a I don't know, dude. I work in such a professional setting that like,
absolutely.
It just makes me feel very uncomfortable to have like my rear end
He has a nice butt.
Just having my wagon out there is just like
it's a nice wagon.
It's just something.
You have a good wagon, so it's okay. See your wife saying it. It's all good.
Yeah, that's like also a cultural difference. Like for me, like I worked out for this body. Like, yeah, I look good on it. He was like,
yeah,
no,
No.
Corporate America.
I love it. Guys, is there anything else you would like to kind of share with the public on the Uncut? This is your moment.
I think like we live in Houston.
Oh yeah, we're not a long distance.
We're not long distance couple. We have been
Perfect.
married for years. No, it's not a paid marriage.
Oh yeah.
It's really real.
I've been having some people ask me.
Yeah.
Who? What? A paid marriage?
I'm not a paid actor.
Oh, we're not paid actors by any chance. No, I was not rehearsed in any of my scenes.
Yeah, because Jessica said it was phony a couple of times, didn't she? She said it's a phony wedding. Yeah.
My sister, I love her to death.
Oh.
Great shooter.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's the reason I know. And my sister's an attorney, by the way.
Yeah.
Well.
So she knows.
Your sister is an attorney?
Yeah.
No, an actual practicing attorney. And
okay, cool.
We need to make the difference because there.
I have to make it. She doesn't have a JD Advantage role. She actually litigates.
Okay,
so
nice.
There is some behind the scenes that like wasn't aired. I don't even know if it was filmed. It was like day one where all the guys meet, and I'll give you guys this. So all the guys meet, right? It's day one. You know, I don't even think filming starts, and all the guys are there. We're all talking to each other, and they all look at me and they're like, "Damn, this guy looks young as shit." And I was like, "They're like, dude, how old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 24." And I think it was Izzy and them joking. They're like, "Oh man, this is the first guy out. Let's take bets. So all the guys like start joking, like taking these bets, and it's like, you know, whatever. We're just all, you know, we're being guys, we're bullying each other, but it's like camaraderie. And then we start talking about like, oh, so like, you know how guys, we kind of size each other up a little bit. Like, oh, so like, you know, they start doing push-ups and whatnot. And they're like, oh, so what do you guys do for work? For some of them.
Yeah.
And this one guy comes in. Well, I actually am an attorney. And it's just like the way he like talked about like this. And I was just like, remind you when I told you I worked at a consulting firm that got raided by the IRS?
Yeah, he was part of it.
And I only worked there for like 6-7 months. Then I went back to oil and gas. Well, attorneys there, we worked on a very specialized tax credit called the R&D tax credit. It's meant for increasing research expenditures. According to the IRS regulations or something, you have to have a qualified individual conduct these studies. The only way to be a qualified individual is to have like a professional engineering degree or like a master's in STEM. So this company, this consulting firm, just hires a bunch of young guys with like engineering degrees and I already had my master's by then.
Yeah.
And they hire attorneys because to review the contracts, but you're not actually litigating. And the attorneys and the engineers always bump heads at this company.
Yeah.
And like he said the spiel, I just knew exactly where he worked. And I said, oh, so you work on the R&D tax credit for increasing research expenditures. And everybody turns around like, how the fuck does this guy know exactly? And the guy turned, he's like, his spiel's over. And I said, oh, so like, and this guy had already kind of made fun of me, kind of talked shit a little bit. And I was like, oh, you're not like really an attorney. Like, I was like, oh, so you have like a JD Advantage. And I guess like, I only know this because like my mom and sisters being like attorneys and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the disrespect, it's like if you're a non-engineer and you tell me like, oh, well, Milton, you're not an engineer because you don't have your professional engineering degree. Me saying like, oh, you're not like really an attorney, you just have a JD Advantage is kind of like saying like, you don't actually litigate. Like you're just a consultant.
Yeah.
It just helps that you're an attorney. It sounds good. And so it's kind of disrespectful, but this guy had already kind of disrespected me. And from then on, we kind of looked at each other and we knew like, oh, we don't fuck with each other. So it was kind of funny like how the show progressed and like
and then later on
wants to become my friend and look out for me. And I'm like, it's been like zero communication
since day one.
Like we did not fuck because I kind of
Who's the guy?
Well, there's only one attorney.
Who's she?
Oh.
Yeah.
It was Uche this whole time?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I can't. Oh my god. And
Weird.
then?
No, so it was kind of like, then, you know, the guys were like, well then fuck, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm the engineer that actually used to conduct the study. That was my response. And you know, you can't really say shit. And then I was like, no, but I left that. I went back to oil and gas, like, you know. And it was kind of like, you know, the way we can tell, like, we just didn't fuck with each other. That's okay.
You can see like a lot of like big cut parts, because he even told me, he was like, he approached him a bunch of times, like, oh, do you know that Lydia never had a boyfriend? Or quick remarks like that.
We were never in a stage to even be friendly with one another. Like we never. It wasn't like me and Izzy, like we joked around every now and again. We would take a shot together. Like no. It was just the only guy that, like, from before filming started, it was just like respectfully, fuck you, like, and that was it. So it was funny that all of a sudden, like towards the end, because like he would always ask me, like,
who you dating?
Towards the end, he'd be like, oh, so like who are you talking to, man? And I'm like, why do you want to know? Like that was always my response. Like I didn't really come for friends. I could care. I thought it was kind of competitive, so I was like, screw you. I'm not giving you guys any strategic advantage over me. And then like when I told Izzy, like, don't worry about it, Izzy didn't worry about it. But when I told him, he kept prying. He kept
I saw that. He kept coming.
But they didn't show a lot of that. And I was just like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, why does he not understand?
Like, makes you even think that he's a good guy.
Like why aren't you off? So then I'm already like very suspicious. And then it all comes out. And so when he tries to like talk to me, especially at the barbecue scene, I'm like, oh, like look, like to me, I'm like, look how pitiful you are. You're literally, you're like, I'm reveling in this. Like you're
like,
you're
why are you even here? Like,
exactly.
I'm like, now we're friends. Like, what about the past 3 weeks? Like we've never had communication, you know? So it's just like, I don't know. That's like a little bit of behind the scenes knowledge.
To be honest, let's be real. What happened to him is fully deserved. Aaliyah walking out of the show and leaving him high and dry is what he deserved. Just because he was screwing with the universe.
For real, like, maybe, let me say this, I've never said this before, but it happened how it had to happen between them, and I had nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
Issues and their own issues in their relationship. Like, I don't know why they keep.
I think it's like kind of what I said at the reunion, and I know maybe some people didn't love it. Whatever happened in their relationship, why they didn't work out, it's not my wife's nor my burden to carry.
Correct.
And
like simple as that. If as soon as if you keep
simple as that.
Yeah, like as simple as that.
Not our burden to carry.
Yeah. If it was our fault, then when we were not around, why it didn't work?
I didn't really understand like why they tried to make that like a thing.
And then like especially because like they cut out a lot of stuff, and also like the other person, I don't want to even name her, but like she basically honed in and stuff like coming back at me when we had actually run into each other several times and we were okay.
But you know, that's what we talk about, like once the show airs, how people want to see an opportunity to latch to it and create a narrative. And that's why I just kind of found it easier to like take a step back from most of the members from the show. You know, it's interesting because we had run into several of the other cast members. You know, even during filming and outside of filming, after we were married, and like Lydia knows me, when it comes to them, I'm very hesitant. You know, some of them even feel like, oh, why doesn't Milton ever want to hang out with us? And I'm like, I don't know you guys. And in my city, I already have my community, but I'm not trusting of you because I don't really know you. You know, and Lydia had hung out with certain individuals, certain women that I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this one, man. And then they were fine and dandy, and then all of a sudden the show airs and
they changed their perspective.
They changed their perspective based on what the media has, because I don't know, maybe it's a lack of integrity, maybe it's a lack of not feeling isolated, and I think that's slightly different amongst men and women. I think the sense of unity is maybe a tad bit stronger. Exactly. I don't know, I'm not a woman, but that's just maybe my perception.
Like women relationships are
they didn't
complex.
they weren't strong enough to stand independently on their own and say this is right and this is wrong. So they joined kind of the crowd and say, okay, we'll say this.
I think to be honest, Leah wasn't the physical type of Uche. Punkt. There's nothing to talk about that. Like he didn't find her attractive. I don't know if she did. She clearly did. And I don't think in any shape or form, Lydia, had you were a reason in any way that they didn't work out. Neither were you, Milton. At the end of the day, they both had the opportunity to stay together, see each other, and go through the reveal, and they didn't. She exited. She left him. So he should be left. And he made such a big drama because he wants to be part of the show still, and then comes back to the apartments and, you know, to the barbecue, the gathering, and makes scenes just because he wants to be part of the flow. It is what it is. But on Uncut, I'm going to make this clear. You two had nothing to do with their relationship in any shape or form. And that's made clear. I mean, I don't think anyone here in UK, Europe, when we watch it, I don't think any of us see it that way. We see one guy actually kind of being obsessed with you, Lydia, and trying to make it look like you plan to be on the show. And you're like, fuck off, man. Like, I've moved on. I'm seeing Milton and I'm getting married and I went on this holiday. Like, what are you even doing to still talk about this? So I feel like it's just they were left with nothing and you guys have something. And that is the problem here. So you guys keep going, do your thing. Everyone's going to hate on it. It's normal. That's how the world evolves, you know?
That's how the world works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you said it perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. So out of all the couples, we had Milton, Lydia, Stacey, Izzy, JP, and Taylor. You guys were the only ones to get married on Love is Blind season 5. I think I've had such a pleasure talking to you guys today. I would like to thank you for making time all the way from Dubai to speak to us. And I would love to catch up with both of you in private. I invite you to Germany, to my home, to my boudoir, to my clubs to have a nice...
We will take you on an offer. One thing we love to do is travel.
Yeah. Good. We're going to have a nice Europe trip. You're going to... Milton probably fall in love with my husband. So there's going to be a lot of time for them and time for us, Lydia. Perfect.
For having us.
Yes, thank you. It was so much fun.
Thank you, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you, Faye.
Thank you, guys. Have a lovely vacation. Enjoy. Get drunk and make sure.
Rest. I'm so sorry again for the time zone.
No, it's fine.
I learned Berlin and Dubai are not in the same time zone now. No. I learned a little bit of geography.
To be honest, I wake up normally Dubai, Abu Dhabi time because of my company. So we have to, me and my husband do alternate like this. So it's not new for me, but it was such a bomb for Faye. I was like, oh shit.
Hey, I apologize. I am so sorry.
Right, go.
When you messaged me last night, I was like, what do you mean? I was like, just for clarification, Berlin and Dubai are in the same time zone, right? And
oh my God, Milton.
I just saw instant typing. I was like,
for someone who's a genius. For someone who's a genius, you mixed up Berlin to UAE time.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, well, you know, they're on the other side of the pond, you know, and I don't know.
I love it. I thought so a few things, guys. If you're in UAE, please go to Yas Island. Check that box. It's only 40 minutes from Dubai. Yas Island. There you can go to Water World. You can go to Ferrari World. You can go to the Warner Brothers. It's amazing. And also Yas Island has... Yeah, it's between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. It's called Yas Island. Yeah. So just Google Yas Island, you'll see everything there. And also there's a nice little strip with a lake, beautiful hotel that you can stay at. And then there is a lot of clubs and bars. So you're going to have a vibe. It's all outside as well. So you're going to have fun. Then you need to go to Abu Dhabi, go to Emirates Palace, go check it out, have photos over there, go to the beach, go to White Beach Club in Dubai, go to Seven Piers, the piers in Dubai. I'll text you, Lydia. I'll text you my number.
Yes. With Lydia, it's so much easier.
Just a few things that you will only know if you're a local person or living there for a long time. So let me throw them at you so you can see these things before you leave. Yeah.
Yes.
This worked out perfectly.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Love you guys. Mwah. Thank you for coming on the Uncut. We'll speak soon.
For having us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.